Mine on.
Hey guys.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Fox Den. We have our guest in the green room waiting for us, and it's nice to be.
She's waiting patiently. When it's the guys in the green room, you ever notice how they're like, no, I'm kidding.
I do love it. I do love it. So, tonight we're going to be talking about money. Money
Very
issue.
good.
But let me put my glass. She just took her glasses up and I'll put mine on and read her bio. Again, because I didn't have time to make a
That's because she's
video.
creating the alien grave shipyard pirate thing on the front lawn.
Yeah, my huge Halloween display is in progress. So, okay. Anyway, our guest today is a powerhouse of transformation, Debbie Dobbins. She's also known as the Queen of Magic. She has lived many lives: millionaire, businesswoman, cancer thriver, spiritual teacher, and now best-selling author of Your Inner Billionaire. Her story is not just inspiring, it is proof of what's possible when women reclaim their power. After finding herself broke, sick, and burned out from a life that looked successful on the outside, Debbie rewrote the script using feminine energy, universal law, and fierce personal responsibility. She rebuilt her wealth and discovered a deeper, more meaningful prosperity along the way. And now she helps other conscious women, especially those in their second act, to do the same. Whether they want to launch a business, increase their income, or finally feel free in their bodies and bank accounts, Debbie's message is simple. You are not too late. You are not too much. You are right on time. And today we're talking about her book, Your Inner Billionaire, and how it's shaking up the way we think about money, worth, and success. Get ready for some truth bombs, some heart wisdom, and a whole lot of permission to shine. And let me tell you, this woman, wow, she's done it all.
She went from driving the truck to under the truck to driving the truck over everybody now.
That's about it. That's about it. You know, we complain about things that we go through. Okay. We all have our money issues in our world. Yet this woman owed $350,000 to the IRS. $70,000
not the IRS.
The IRS, yes. You know, the ones that take everything because
they don't wait for their money.
Yeah. And it's like, oof, you know. So when we sit here and bitch like we may owe 5, 10, 15, even though it's life devastating to a lot of us, but imagine what we've gone through here. And then having cancer and surviving, and drug addiction and surviving and getting over. And I know all about that one, you know. So, well, this book is amazing and you're hilarious. And I love how you wrote it. So I have a lot of God years in this book. Welcome to the Fox Den, Debbie.
Welcome.
Thank you. I'm so excited. And I really want to hear the alien, whatever zombie story, the pirates. I was like, whatever that was, I left the building for a minute because I was imagining what that was like. But
you should
know, and honestly,
I have 3 big sections of my yard for Halloween. And I have
I
graveyard.
It's beautiful to have something like that because we're now entering the holiday season and people have sort of lost a little bit of their luster around that, but yet it's just so magical, especially around Halloween. I don't know if y'all know this, but it's the 3rd largest retail shopping holiday now. Because
on top of that, we just got notices saying that all Halloween candy, costumes, a lot of the decorations, because of the tariffs, are going to be going up.
Oh, well.
Yep. So I bought a bunch of stuff previous. So thank God, because now I just got the thing. Like they must know me, right? Because they send me a notification. Hey, lady, you know that this prices are going to go up, right? I wish I brought my candy before, but.
But it's those little things that give us the joy that will create the energy, because what I talk about in my book more than anything in all my teachings is the frequencies that we are generating that create our reality. So when I named this book Your Inner Billionaire, frankly, I didn't know it was going to be a trigger word, number one. But number two, I originally had my first working title was Your Inner Millionaire. And then I'm writing it and I'm very intuitive and I listen to all the, clear audio that's going on in my head. And it said, it's billionaire, it's not millionaire.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't question it. I just went with it. And now I realize it's a trigger for a lot of people. That word is a trigger for so many different reasons, not only the political climate that's going on, but more importantly, I've had people say, I wouldn't even think of picking up your book because they're repelled by that idea until they read it and then they're like, oh my God, why did I ever think that? But it really is, it's a stretch. It's a stretch for us to begin to see what's possible for us. And I'm so blessed that I'm in Minnesota for the last 2 days with a room full of entrepreneurs, mostly women, talking about stretching ourselves, right? We have to get out of our comfort zone. And this is the thing that I talk about first and foremost in my book. The first chapter is on your money story, because your money story keeps you in that comfort zone. You keep doing the same pattern over and over, even though we say, oh, I want, right? Even the sentence, I want, is a lack thought. It is a lack phrase. I want, therefore I don't have. And if I don't have, then that says I am limited and I have a lack mentality. It's very fascinating because people don't realize their language is so, so, so important.
Yeah.
And that's one of the chapters in the book as well. But I'm so excited to be here. So let's see what you want to ask me. I'll just talk about anything.
I loved how you were just rolling right there, because that was the first question. It was like, why did you call the book Your Inner Billionaire? So that, that we've already gotten that. Seriously though, I really want to know more about like, what were you doing in your life before the dam broke? Before everything came crashing down? So like, you built yourself up. How did you build yourself up? What were your thoughts and beliefs then?
Well, it's come crashing down quite a few times, which is very fascinating, I think, to people, but also to me, that I have created through, and we create our own reality, every single one of us. So there's a part of me that always felt that my story wasn't big enough, right? And so then I just created new stories, which meaning the trauma and the drama. We all have them, right? Well, most people, I can't say everybody. There are some people that have never had a negative experience in their life, but I don't know who they are. And so
not in my realm.
And what I want to share is that I've had this knowingness, this consciousness, my whole life. Like, I understand that I create my own reality. So it's also very fascinating to go through all of these different experiences that I share in the book, knowing that I'm creating it. And at the same time, I believe that I've created them so that I can feel what other people feel, so that I don't just one time create something. There's many people out there that talk about manifestation or making money, and it's like they had their life, they had a traumatic experience, or they had their spiritual awakening or whatever it was, and now they've done all of these things, right? They've created this, and you can do it too. Well, sometimes you just have, and it feels like they are untouchable almost, from the perspective of you don't relate back to where you were when you first had these things that propelled you forward. So I've had them on multiple opportunities and I continue to have them. I really believe that we are learning and growing for the entire time we're here on this planet.
Yeah.
And so even now, I was one of these things we were learning in this conference was social media marketing. Oh my gosh, I'm 70 years old and I believe I do well compared to how old I am, which I don't really want to compare how well I do to that. And yet it was such an opportunity for me to see what other people go through when they're going down the abundance path, that they don't understand it. They don't know what to do. They're completely lost, right? And so I just want to be that that trainer, that teacher, that activator of their wealth for them. And as I feel that I'm learning something new, I know that other people are learning something new. So just being close to what that feels like is so important, because as a trainer or as a teacher or as a mentor, I don't feel like I can ever let go of feeling where I was, whether it be, a drug addict or being on food stamps, being broke, beyond broke, or, thriving on cancer. I mean, I went through all of those things and they're touchstones. And sometimes you get far enough away from that, you forget. So it's really amazing. For me, and everything always works for our good. So we always have these opportunities to be to learn and grow from things. So you can either be in a horrible, if you want to call it that, situation, and let that take you down and depress you and pull the covers up over your head, or you say, what is the juice and the diamond that's in here, and move forward. And it truly is, your inner billionaire is not just money. It really is important to talk about money, and I do in the book, but it's everything. It's the abundance that you have in your relationships, in the amazing, professions that we work in our health. I mean, there's so many of these areas of our life that we just don't pay attention to, but we are infinitely wealthy and a billionaire, an inner billionaire in all of those areas.
Yeah, I agree.
Right. And that was going to be my next subject, because it was going to be that it doesn't just pertain to money, because you do refer to it a lot in here. And,
Of course.
and everybody can relate, because everybody has money issues. I don't care how much money you have money issues. If you have a lot, everyone's trying to take it from you, and you hold everything here and there because it's like everything is higher, blah, blah, blah. If you have none, what are you going to do? Everybody
that's the happiness quotient, though, because that's what I teach in the book, that first of all, we all have a relationship with money. Every single person on the planet has a relationship with money. And I say that, and so in the book I say, and I say this all the time, money is the most important relationship in our lives. People go, what? No, it's my parents, it's my kids, it's my husband. I'm like, no, money is the most important relationship. Why do I say that? Because money is just energy. Everything that we do in life is energy based. That's why it's the frequency that allows us to see the reality that we see. And if money is the most important relationship in my life, and it is energy, then it is a direct reflection of how much I value myself.
Okay.
So when you decide you want to receive, you have to be able to value yourself.
Yeah.
So when we say we do, and we're not seeing it out pictured, then we have to examine what our real truth is.
Yeah. And you can set up a space. And do you hear how she's talking, people? This is how this book is written. Okay. It is amazing. It is easy to follow. I have plenty of dog ears in here for a lot of things. She explains everything step by step, what to do, how to, setting up your space so that you can get into this. And we all know, because, people here, we do a lot of meditations, we do a lot of things, we do a lot of affirmations, we do that kind of stuff. You did that before you actually really, really believed in your affirmations. It's like the fake it till you make it type stuff, and we all have been there and done that too, So you are the average normal woman who wants to help average normal people, women, people, especially of our age, and like you say, I like how you put that in our second act.
I like that one. It's like, okay, I could just before we go anywhere, I got to put this in here. You're how old?
70.
You do not look it. You do, and it's funny because I always, when people go, "You're how old?" Because I'm gonna be 63 next month. Yeah, next month.
Well, you don't look 63. I mean, I honestly, I would have guessed that you were 30 or 40, to be honest.
Oh, I love you. Okay.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, I don't lie about things like that.
I'm 62. Yeah. I'll be 63 in January.
Yes. And it feels good to be this age.
It does,
really does.
We
were
younger,
talking about that this week, and I have an intention to live past 100, but I also know the way that the world is going, that there's going to be so many advancements in longevity that literally I should be able to have a body of a 20-year-old with the brain of a 150-year-old, because the wisdom that comes when you are alive is amazing. And they'll just plug me in, once a day.
Charge her up.
Youth is wasted on
Charge
the
her up.
young.
That's right. Like I need charging. Oh my gosh.
Not yet. Nuh-uh.
George brings
Not
up a
yet.
good point here. He says, money can be our friend, also our biggest enemy. We all overspend on
Mhm.
things. Yes, things that are not really needed. And want and need is we need to ask ourselves. What we need to ask ourselves, I think, is what you meant to say there. But yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, I
Like I
mean,
said though, want is setting up a lack conversation with ourselves.
Mhm.
I want something.
So
In
how
other
would you
words,
word it?
well, okay. So I know that I am abundant. But here's the other thing I want to share about affirmations as we touched on those a minute
Mhm.
ago, because it's about feeling an energy shift. And what happens is, I often use this example from the neck up is our AI and our masculine energy, right? It's analytical, it processes data, we program it, and it does what we programmed it to do. From the neck down is our feminine energy, which is where the emotional body is, and all of these frequencies that have chemical signatures around them from the feelings that we've had over our lives are there. So the two of them work in tandem with one another.
Right.
But this AI up here, just like AI, if you train AI properly and you put in something that it doesn't understand, it will continue to go back to what you've already programmed it to do. That's what
Yep.
this does. And so when you do affirmations, this is the problem with an affirmation is, I'm abundant beyond measure. And this says, liar, liar, pants on fire.
Mhm.
We either have to change it from our feeling place, right? I feel abundant, or I feel happy, I feel joyful, I feel grateful, or we have to have that I call it a bridge of an affirmation. And I learned this in 12-step programs with what this version is, but I've created more since then. I'm willing to be willing. And sometimes you may have to say, I'm willing to be willing to be willing to be willing, right? Because we have to tell this that this is we're willing to be something. We're learning to be abundant. We are accepting that there is more than enough. You see the difference between I
Yeah.
am abundant beyond measure? That liar, liar will come up
Pants on
every
fire, yeah.
time. So you have to have the bridge, number one. But the second really most important ingredient here, and this is why I've stopped saying it's in your, mindset and all of that, because the mindset is just programmed from the feelings. We have to begin to feel the experiences that we say we desire, right? So when we desire something, it's not the same as wanting. So let's say that I desire to travel, like that's my heart is pulling me in that direction. Well, okay, where do you want to go? That's fine. Somebody decides they want to go to Italy, but we have to begin to feel that energy, because feelings are something every single one of us can do without exception right where we are. Like I could be incarcerated, I could be bound in a straitjacket, I could be sitting in my living room. I can create my feelings. So our feelings are the electromagnetic energy that pulses outward, that creates the reality that we see. So if we can't change the feelings, we don't change this, the feelings will change this automatically. If we can change the feelings, because it's breaking a state, our pattern that goes on, because we're addicted to our old chemical signatures of the feelings that we've had of fear, of not enoughness, of confidence, all of those things. So it's a simple matter of it's as simple as closing your eyes and recalling a feeling. So I know that I could have everybody close their eyes and say, imagine holding a baby in your hands. Most people have done that. If some people haven't, that's fine. But the fact of the matter is you can imagine holding a baby. And our brain doesn't know the difference between reality and what we tell it. I've done hypnosis, so I've watched that happen. And if we create those feelings of unconditional love and or joy, like you can imagine what it's like if you were married, right? And you had your wedding day, recall those feelings, because those are the prevailing energies of joy and acceptance and gratitude and bliss that we're wanting to generate within us. And then from that spot, you begin to vision and imagine what that would be like in Italy. Feelings would you want to have there? Well, for me, I love nature, so I would be in awe. I would be in awe of the architecture. I would be in awe of the Venice Canal, which I have been. So but before I ever went there, I was imagining those feelings. I was feeling as if they were happening right here and right now. So it's amazing. I don't need a vision board for that. That's a feeling board. And you can
Yeah.
create a vision board that's based on feelings, not on pictures, because the pictures, all they do is trigger your reticular vision. So you begin to go forward and look and expect it. But you can create the feelings. And so that's one of the things that I talk about in
Yeah,
the book is
you
creating
do
the
talk
feelings.
about that. Instead of making a regular vision board, you describe how to do it a little differently, which I really
Yep.
liked because
Yeah, it's fabulous.
I'm not a
And it's more
vision.
powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, I like
Yeah.
I definitely like how you do that. When something is like such a simple thing and then someone else says it, it's like it's that. It's like the
Yeah.
aha moments,
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
seriously, this is well worth the read. You can read it in a day book, okay? But this will impact you for life. All right. It's one of those books. I highly, highly, highly recommend it for anyone that has these issues. Again, with anything in your
Everybody
life,
has these
all the
issues.
principles that are in here can be
Really?
applied to anything. But
Yeah.
while I was reading it, and you brought up the thing about your posture, you're this, you're that, how you're going to, approach coming up to pay bills. Well, I came up here and I had to pay my bills. So that was my break in reading the book. I was just at that point. I'm like, well, I had a stack of bills up here. I had to pay it. And usually I'm always fretting about, oh God, this, that, and what, who I robbed Peter to pay Paul, that kind of stuff. And I was like, well, I'm going to do this. And I paid all the bills. And I'm like, I didn't have to rob nobody. I mean, it was just, it all worked out just fine.
Mhm.
And I'm going,
Mm-hmm.
maybe there's something to this.
There is.
There is.
So I'm like, I love the concept. I love the way that it's written. And you talk a lot about abundance as well. So, like, that's a powerful word.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
But that's our inherited nature, because we are part of nature. We
Yeah.
are one with nature. So when we understand that concept that we are not separate from nature, and nature is abundant, and that's why I love being in nature, is because it is such a beautiful picture to watch and say, oh, this is how abundance is. You don't see a tree looking at another tree and going, oh my God, you got more leaves than I do. Right? You don't see a butterfly come out of a cocoon and go, oh my God, your stripes are so much better than mine. I mean, that's not happening in nature. It is an opportunity for us to see that we are inherited with this. And I love the Bible. There's a verse in there that talks about, and it will be given unto you, pressed down, shaken up, and overflowing into your lap. That's the kind of abundance that we are all designed to accept and receive. It's only us pushing it away that keeps it from us. But I want to talk about what you were sharing, some of the languaging that was going on when you're paying your bills. So I want to use the Bible verse that's in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. So think about it. The Word is I think lathos. I always get that Greek word mixed up. But anyways, we've come up with the word that it means a certain thing. In this context, it means everything that we are projecting. So it's our thoughts, it's our emotions, it's our words, our actual words that come out of our mouth, and our actions. So, and that is God. The Word is God. So if you think about everything that we do is a prayer that we are depositing straight into this consciousness, and it's coming back exactly as we put it in. So it's just like almost like a computer. You put it in and it comes back exactly. So if we are thinking those thoughts of, just like you said, because I've been there, done that. Oh my God, I got to put in a new HVAC system. It's going to cost $7,000. Where am I going to get $7,000? Right? That dialogue takes you spiraling down.
Yeah.
Instead of we need to spiral up and say, oh my gosh, okay, so I have an opportunity to see where my abundance is. I have an opportunity to look at what is going on, that I have created this situation, instead of saying, oh my gosh, why is this happening to me? Nothing is happening to us. everything is happening through us. And so it isn't about looking and shaming ourselves. It's allowing the opportunities, because once we start expecting the good to show up, that's reticular vision. It says, oh, you're looking for it. Just like if you ever seen a car that you like, and then all of a sudden you see those cars all over the road, right?
God,
Nobody let them out. They didn't say, oh, look, she spotted that car. Let's send a bunch out on the road. It's reticular vision. That's an actual thing, because it's our sorting and filtering mechanism. So we sort and filter based on all of our feelings and our beliefs that we have downloaded and practiced over time, like really practiced. We're very good at our limiting beliefs.
Yes.
But if we start expecting that good and we start looking for it, you know what? You find it. It shows up. It doesn't even like you're going, oh my God, how did that happen? Because you're looking for it. And when you expect good every day, it shows up. This is what's so beautiful about it. And so I get up every day and I say, surprise me again, because it's beautiful. I love being in the mystery. That's how I live. I live from intuition and mystery and expectation. And I know that surprises are coming. It's a pretty simple formula, but it absolutely is genius because it works beautifully.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I like how you brought up God too. But I always say this, like, and I've said this actually not lately, but I used to say it all the time and often, that our intention is our reality.
Yes.
So, everything that we put forth, especially if we talk about meditation and things like that, and to get yourself into that state, yes, it's your intention. What your intention is what's going to be. And we haven't really talked about that a lot lately. So, but that is a good saying.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and it is, and so there's different brainwave patterns that we have: beta, alpha, theta, right? Those two, 3 out of the 5. Yep. But we're in beta all the time. We're in the beta. I always think a beta is like a nervous chihuahua. It's like, that's the energy. It's like, ding, 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 ding. And this is where we are, because we have to be alert and alive and, walking around in the world and accessing this AI up here. And yet we are on turbo beta most of the time. Why? Because we're all stressed out. We're worried. We're in fear. We don't know. We doubt what we are able to do. So we're just constantly, the nervous chihuahua is out of control. Meditation allows us to bring those brainwave patterns down. So if you can get to alpha, that's the brainwave state that we are in as children between about age 1 and 8. And that's when we can receive data from ourselves that we can accept, and it can go past that unconsciousness door. If you get to theta, you're basically in that state where Tibetan monks go, which you can do with a thing called binaural beats, which is really fabulous. But just if you slow down, you can then give yourself that programming, if you will, because you're just reprogramming this. And this comes from here as well. So if you allow yourself, because your body can receive, and our bodies, that's what's so beautiful about feelings and really accepting that this is controlling everything, not this. This is programming this, not the other way around. Mm-hmm. If we can slow down enough, our bodies will tell us every single thing we need to know, because it already knows. That's what's so beautiful about our bodies. But the problem is especially in the Western Hemisphere, we are so disconnected from our bodies. We don't even know what they're talking to us, that they are talking to us, because we numb out. Right. We numb out. That's why, my addiction. Or
you go to a doctor and they numb you out.
Yeah,
exactly. 100%. I mean, how many people do you know that are antidepressants? I'm like, you need to take something so you won't get depressed. I've been depressed, like I know. And when I was, oh God, it's been decades ago, read Norman Cousins' book, the medicine of human, I forget what it was called exactly, but he was talking about how he healed himself from cancer by watching funny stuff. And this is before the internet. So he was watching old black and white
they say that.
movies and stuff.
But the vitamin C and a lot of laughter.
A lot of laughter, yes, because we don't allow ourselves to feel that joy in our bodies. And so we're numbing ourselves out, but we're not just doing it by pharmaceutical medications, right? What is scrolling, right? It's a dopamine hit. What do crack cocaine and all those stimulant drugs and narcotics, they are giving you dopamine hits. So when we go in excess with our dopamine hits, then our brain starts to, break a circuit in essence, and then we can't get any more because we have maxed ourselves out. So we have to begin to listen to our bodies and say, what do we need? What is it that you're telling me? And, a simple headache is not a simple headache. It's a symptom of something else.
Yep.
Diabetes isn't just diabetes. It's a symptom of something else. Depression is a symptom of something else. So when we begin to recognize that we are so powerful, number one, but number two, that we are so precious. Each and every one of us is just precious beyond measure because we're unique expressions of the one. And then we don't need to have somebody else tell us, like an influence, this is what you have to do to be okay. You're okay already.
Yep.
So if you begin to know that and understand that, then you're not looking outside of yourself for validation. You're looking inside to say, what is more of me? How can I be more of me? And when you become your authentic self completely, it is magic.
Right. Not people pleasing, not all that
No.
kind of stuff. No, no.
Mm-mm.
You brought up before, and I'm kind of backtracking a little about like AANA, whatever. The 12 steps are amazing. And I think everybody should practice them, whether you're an addict or not. I just think it should be taught, like even in school, the steps, they're just, because again, they can be applied to anything. And I kind of got that, idea a little bit, in here because you mentioned gratitude a lot. Now, gratitude, again, like abundance, a powerful word. All the things that you're talking about is extremely powerful stuff. It's very much game changer, but forgiveness, gratitude, all those things, forgiving yourself for, a lot of things. This is the problem with women. Women carry everything right here. Everything's our fault. Our kids are messed up. That's our fault. Our husband went out and cheated, and that's our fault, right? We didn't even do anything wrong, right? It was our fault, right? Because why? Because we put that upon ourselves, right?
Right. Well, that's a lot of imprinting also. And what I feel as if the planet is going through a transformation right now. And I believe that that is the rising up, literally, not that there's anything wrong with masculine energy, but there was too much of it of the last 3,000 years. And it's not, I'm not here to judge anything because I believe that everything is in the divine right timing of the entire existence of the universe, because literally we look in terms of 200 years. Oh my gosh, the universe has been around for I don't know, a gazillion years. But the fact of the matter is that when we begin to connect and balance our masculine energy with our feminine energy. So masculine is the doingness, it's the analytical, it's the building, it's the moving, it's the energy that moves. Feminine energy is intuition, connection, communication, flow. And so when we blend those two, because we can't have one without the other, but we have had a 2,000-year period of masculine playbook. This is what I call it. And I got the playbook, right? We all get it. We all get the playbook because it's out there in the consciousness. And so I used to say, I'm the best man for the job. Like, I've never looked at myself as limited because I'm a woman, right? I look at myself as I can be the best version of me. And you tell me how to do it, which the playbook said, hustle, drive, really burn yourself out, even though it's not in the text exactly in the playbook that way. And that's what it is. It's like compete and win and all of those kind of languages. Well, what I realize now is that women got the same playbook, even though that wasn't our nature. And our nature is to be intuitive. So when was the last time you heard somebody say, oh, you know what, you need to go into the C-suite boardroom and talk about how you intuitively feel about something? No, you don't. We're not doing that unless you work for an all-women firm. but it's coming into the zeitgeist, if you will, because that's what is important, to blend those two and not all be analytical. So it's really a fascinating dynamic to see how the world is shifting. And when we begin to see how the world is shifting, just embrace it. And I always say that whether you see chaos in your own life or you see it on a, a macro global level, it's just change and shift. And that is how the universe works. You have to have chaos before you have order. So we are in a very dynamic time, I will say that.
Yeah.
And yet I
So.
know that it's in service to the higher good for all of us. So that's why I just, wake up in the morning and go, oh, what entertainment do we have today?
I like that. I like that. I get up in the morning and I always say, okay, I'm alive. That's my first thing that I'm grateful for. But I like the idea of saying, what do you have for me today? Because I'm the one who always wears people who say, you're always wearing rose-colored glasses. Things are always so good for you. The face that I put for everybody, majority of everybody is yeah, because that's what I do. I have to find, for my own mental thing, I have to find the good in everything, no matter what it is.
Right.
And people go, well, how can you find good in about children starving? Because we're learning about it. So the good part is that we're helping them to feed them. We're teaching them to grow whatever I find that people go, oh, you're weird. But yeah, I am.
No, I agree with you.
I love, if I'm weird, I love being weird. And I sometimes, what I'll call, take a step out of my box. And I did that today at work. I created an email and I sent it pretty much work-wide, the company-wide. Miss a lot of people, but and then I sent it, and then I asked the big boss if it was okay. That's the type of thing I do, right? And it took them a while to answer, but a lot of people had responded back to it, and they said yes, they'd like to, receive a monthly positive energy email, and nothing too woo-woo, just positivity. And I created a perfect one for the month of October. I created it for it was a very slow day today. People weren't calling to talk to me. It was rude. So I created these things for the 12 months. I have a positive email to go out. And when the boss got the second one, he says, can you wait a minute and don't put any more communications out there until I talk to HR? I was like, yeah, okay. But HR was on my list of people who said, yes, I want that.
Oh, good. Okay.
So I was like, okay, sure, go ahead.
And you know what?
I'm not
I have to
doing
say,
anything
though,
wrong, but it's
that's so, first of all, I find that a little sad that a positive, uplifting, email would be offend anybody, and that there would be any second guessing. But that's just a personal aside.
No, I agree. That's what I found. Like, how can you find that wrong? It's a positive. Everybody who responded to my original first email, my original first email was telling everybody that I'm thankful for them being there, for helping. I do the same thing when somebody needs help, and if I can't, I'm there. But we as a society forget to thank people. Like I said, growing up, I was a girl who learned the magic words were please and thank you. We don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
It's not a big thing. I was amazed how many times when I was at work, when I worked with the public, that I would say thank you to people, and my boss would go, thank you. It was part of my job. I said, yes, but you still deserve a thank you because you did it. Because there are some bosses who know it's their job, but just don't do it. So just thank you. And the people who reached out to me, I have no idea who they are in my company. But they were like, thank you. I needed this.
Oh, I was like, that is so beautiful.
And then the boss is like, you got to wait, please. I was like, okay, sure. The next one's not going to go out until the month of November. So I can wait. Different.
Yeah, so I think that's great. And I think, stuff like that's needed. Positivity, things like that always need to be spread. There's just no doubt about it.
Yeah. Positivity has gotten a bad rap. I don't really understand that. And the fact is that there's 2 chapters in my book on gratitude, right? Which is basically a version of positivity. And it's because I say, the Bible says, another verse, it says everything, all things work together all things work together for good for those who love God. But basically, I have a MP3 that I created, 5 minutes in the morning. Everything is working in my favor. So this is a mantra that I'm not an affirmation person, but I love a mantra. Everything is working in my favor. If I say that all day as I get up in the morning and say that, then when I go out and I step on the Legos, this is not me, but this could be somebody, step on the Legos that the kids left out, right? You go to the coffee maker, the Keurig, and it doesn't work. You go outside to the garage and you have a flat tire, right? You can set yourself up and spiral down so
Oh, yeah.
fast. But if
Yeah.
I say, right, I reframe this, everything is working in my favor, and then go out and expect and look for that, then literally, and maybe it's saving me from the big crash that was on, the freeway when I was about to
Exactly.
get on it. It's
Exactly.
so beautiful. And just having that gratitude, I call it gratitude on the go, because a lot of people take gratitude like, oh, there's that gratitude thing again, right? Because
Yeah.
it seems so simple. But
Mhm.
it's not the profound gratitude that I'm talking about. Don't make a gratitude list of 10 things and try to figure out what you're grateful for. Go about your day and say, oh my gosh, and all the things that are showing up in your daily life. I
Mhm.
mean, right now we're on a computer that's hooked up by, Wi-Fi, internet, talking
Right.
to each other. How
Right.
remarkable is that?
Oh, yeah. And
Right?
Oh
I'm
yeah.
in
I have
Pennsylvania. You're in Minnesota. She's in Canada.
I
Right.
know that, but that's
It's
what I'm
like,
saying. We take for granted so much of our life. Like
yep.
I grew up with phones that were attached to the wall, and there was one in the house, and nobody else
Yeah.
could
Oh,
talk on
yeah.
it. So the
Tangled up
thing
in the
is that
cord. Yeah. All that.
we're not grateful for the beautiful things that we have, because I've traveled the world and been in third world countries and seen people live in little huts on dirt floors and children using rocks as balls. I'm
Mhm.
so grateful for every single thing. So every day throughout the day, that's why I call it gratitude on the go. Just look around. Like right now, I've got a water bottle that, I'm in a hotel room, so they don't supply them. So I have one from wherever I was. I have this beautiful room that is,
Mhm.
nobody's here, nobody's bugging me. But the fact of the matter is
Oh.
we do not spend time being grateful for all of the beautiful goodness that we have in our life. And that energy, just like forgiveness, those two energies, gratitude and forgiveness,
Mhm.
create brainwave patterns
Yep.
and alpha states faster than anything. And
Yep.
that's the state we want to be in a meditative place, so that we can program ourselves for all of the bliss that we expect in our life.
Right. And like you were saying about the people with the wallowing, I say that all the time too. You give yourself,
Hmm.
a day max if you want to wallow if something bad happens.
Yeah,
Okay. But other than that, you're done. Right.
Yeah.
you're done.
Yeah.
Bootstraps, get out there and fix it. Right. I mean, because yeah,
Hmm.
I've been high. I've been, I've had lots of money. I've had no money. I've had houses. I've lost houses. Now I got a house that's paid for. You know what I mean? It's like,
Hmm.
it goes up and down, in when you have to do what you have to do and not wallow in the why is all this happening to me? Oh, the dark cloud, all the gloom, the doom. Yeah, you know what? If you like that, that dark cloud will stay with you because
Yeah.
Hmm.
that's what you're putting out in the universe. So
Exactly.
yes, like attracts like. So
Yeah.
if you
Yeah,
put
you're
out
matching your vibration. Hmm.
Yeah.
All
exactly.
the time.
So you want to
Hmm.
put out these positive energies and this positive stuff, and that's exactly what this whole thing is all about. And it's amazing, and it works. It works. It works. It works. As seriously, I mean, I've got oodles of shit now, and it's just stuff. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it's stuff. I mean, I've had my stuff taken from me. I've lost my stuff. I got
Hmm.
more stuff. It's just stuff. But what's really
Hmm.
important? What's really
Yeah.
important? You know,
Yeah.
is here how we perceive ourselves
Hmm.
to better the
And
world.
and our connection to everything else that
Yeah.
is as human with us. And I saw this beautiful documentary flying on the plane over here. I think it's called Everybody Dances, but it's a woman that she has a ballet studio called Ballet for All Children. And she allows anybody to come, but more
That's right.
importantly, kids that have disabilities, which I hate that word anyways, but they have a lot of autism and cerebral palsy and all kinds of different ailments, if you will, if that's what people want to call them. But The fact is that they come to a space where they feel accepted.
Yep.
This is what we all want in our lives.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it doesn't matter all of the stuff, as you said, it's irrelevant. Justin Bieber has bazillions of dollars and he's one of the most unhappy people on the planet.
Oh
But
yeah.
the fact
Well,
is
look at
that
all these people
if
that commit
we,
suicide that have billions and billions of dollars. So
yeah,
it's not money that
right.
that you know makes you whole.
But it's our human connection and feeling as if we're part of something. That's why 12-step programs or groups in general, people want to feel that they are similar to somebody else,
Yes, you
that
are
we're
not.
not
It's like we want
different.
to feel that we're not alone.
Yep.
The
You're
Right.
not
stuff we're
unique. You're
going
not
through
alone.
is
Yep.
somebody else is going through it somewhere. That's why I always say,
Yep.
if you're going through something, don't complain about
Talk
it. Just go through it, because
Mhm.
there's somebody out there that's going through the same thing or will be going through that
Absolutely.
you will be able to help.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
And that's
Yeah.
why I recommend everybody begin to look at who they truly are. What is their authentic self? Because then when you display that into the world, you then become a magnet for people that can resonate with you so
Mhm.
that they can feel that they're part of. And these kids were remarkable in this documentary. I have to say, everybody should go watch it. But what was so interesting is they all felt, because they got bullied because they were different in school. You know how kids are.
Right.
Right.
And they came to this space, and they weren't kids that had the same issues as them. They were kids that were all accepting of one another. And so that's really my message all the time, is let's just look at everybody. I love namaste because it's the God in me sees the God in you. And if we begin to reflect that we are not different, we are not separate, and we are not apart from one another, we are one in the same. We are just expressing uniquely as ourselves, and stop with this pointing like you're my enemy. What is that? We're all one.
Yeah. It's overwhelming now. It's like it's with the political crap going
Stuff.
on right now. It's like it's the accepted norm to be a bully, to be rude, to be this, to be that. It's not accepted. It's not. I'm sorry. It is not
Part of
acceptable.
that is us just practicing that. Every time I talk to somebody, I remind them that we are one. And I don't want to get in those conversations about politics. What I want to do is talk about our common humanness. What are those feelings that we all desire? We want to be accepted. We want to be desired. We want to be loved. We want to have a freedom of joy in our lives and have the lifestyle that we want. And if we have all of those knowingness that everybody wants the same thing, then we can begin to connect with one another. But if we're separating ourselves because of a belief system or a political persuasion, then we're going to get lost. We get lost in things that aren't the truth of who we are, because we truly are just wonderful expressions of the one.
Yeah.
Right. And we are miracles. We really are. And if we did work together, like everybody worked together, truly miraculous, more miraculous things could happen. If you could just set the ego aside, you can set, the testosterone aside. If you could just set whatever it is, okay, aside, and everybody look at what is needed, in the
energy is it. That's why I believe that there's chaos, is because there's becoming more of this love energy. I know it's hard to believe if you look at any kind of screen, because the screens, honestly, I tell everybody, put your screens down. Put those screens down unless you're actually listening to uplifting content, because the screens now are programmed by AI, which are designed to give you more of what you think you already believe. Nobody knows what they believe, because we're all just using somebody else's information to create our beliefs. So that's why get rid of the screens. I mean, not get rid of them. They're part of a necessary evil, but really be very prudent with what you allow in your life. Just like we should be paying attention to what we're putting in our body food wise, right? We want to be healthy versions of ourselves. We want to pay attention to what we're giving ourselves. What are we feeding ourselves emotionally and mentally? And when we do that, we can detach ourselves from what all these beliefs are that are actually being put into our feeds. Like I don't scroll. Oh Lord, I can't stand to scroll because there's too much nonsense out there. And the algorithms, but when I do scroll, like say for instance, I go to the tire shop and I'm sitting there, I'll scroll for 5 minutes while I'm waiting for the car, and then I'm not going to do it anymore just because it's a thing to do right there. But the fact is that I can see how the algorithm will start giving me content based on just something that I slowed down on, that I stopped a moment to read. And so all that's being programmed into our beautiful minds and our hearts, and we don't know it. We think that we're making our own decisions, that we're making our own belief system. So we have to disconnect that cord and say, who am I really? What I teach a values course where we determine what your values are and then create your mission statement around it. People they don't know what their values are. They're just bouncing off of what they're seeing on social media and pretending like that's their belief, when the reality is, what are your 3 to 5 core values? Write a mission statement for your life around that and live strictly out of your values. Is it valuable for me to be hateful? Is it value for me to bully somebody? Is it valuable for me to be angry all of the time? Those are such low vibratory energies that it's no wonder they're in victimhood, whoever's doing that. So
and
we
then they
have
all
to begin
group
to
together.
know.
And then they attack all the people that are trying to spread the light. But why?
Exactly.
Why? You know, I don't. It makes me insane. So you know what my favorite thing is? Block, delete, block, delete, block, delete. Go ahead. You want to do that in your own little corner of the world, then you go ahead. Leave me out of it. Right?
Yeah, but really pay attention to the fact they did a documentary, I don't know, it was a lot of years ago on Netflix called Social Media. And it was already back then, this would be 15 years ago, that documentary is done. They already were doing the technology of basically hijacking our thoughts, right? That's what that is. It's just propelling what you think you believe. And I know if we all step back for a moment, especially from influencers, we step back and really begin to look at, who am I authentically? Who do I want to be in this world? What are my values? And how do I live them out? It is remarkable. Your whole life begins to shift, because just like a mission statement for a business, we need to have a mission and a vision for our lives. What is it that I stand for? What do I want to do in the world? And who do I want to serve to help be more of their authentic selves? It's really so remarkable when we start to disconnect from.
It's hard because, you know, like our children are growing up with this. Happen. Okay. You got me. Our children are growing up with all this technology, right? So this is their norm. When we were kids, we didn't have that. We didn't have phones gathering us. Hell, we had that beeper. Remember the beeper?
But you know what, Gina, it comes down to parenting, really. I mean, parenting is, imagine people, you know, in the 50s, we had televisions that were just coming on the market, right? And before that, then the horse and the buggy. So there's always going to be an evolution. And even back when I was a kid and it was TVs, it was like, oh my God, don't let your children spend too much time in front of a television. Well, the fact of the matter is all of that
at night, you know, I mean, we only had so many channels. We had what, 4,
I understand,
5,
but if it's an evolutionary thing, we have to be able to be parenting and say, I mean, I know this is really hard, especially now with parents that have very clear boundaries about what children can and cannot do. And I'm all for the schools that have the bags that they have to put the phones in.
I have an issue with that.
So
they're not texting at school.
Well, I have a sort of issue with that. My way of thinking is because it happened to my daughter last year. She works in schools, and that there was a lockdown because there was supposed to be a shooter on the grounds. And her anxiety goes from 0 to 150 bajillion in like 2 seconds. She was able to call me because she had her cell phone.
Yeah.
And with that cell phone, there was other kids in the school that were able to call their parents, because this was little kids, right? I mean,
if they
That's
knew their
my way of
numbers, but they're
thinking.
programmed into their phones.
Yes, but that's the thing. But if they don't have yourself, I mean, my way of thinking is I hate, as an adult, I don't, am I on my phone all the time? Yeah. But it's not like I can live without it. Not a problem. Unless I'm texting my daughter because she's my favorite child. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
If you go into class and you have a cell phone, you put it upside down on your desk. So all the vibrations are off, but it's still there. It's still, you can still reach for it. If you have somebody, because my brain kind of goes everywhere. If you have somebody who breaks into the school and there's a lockdown thing, if you're the first thing you do, if that cell phone's on your desk upside down, you're going to take it. You're going to go 911 or call mom or dad or whatever the case may be. But if it's in a bag on the desk at the teacher's, and you have to think about doing that because you can sit and hide and sit with the phone a lot quicker than you can. Let me go up to the front of the desk, find out through all these 30. I don't know how many students are in the class anymore, but 30 phones where my phone is. Their mind doesn't go automatically on self-preservation. But the phone is on my desk. I'll flip it over, down 911. That's what my daughter did. She flipped it over. She called mom. I was able to get her to breathe so that she could help the kids that were under her charge. And she was able to get
there's always going to be those kind of circumstances. I know for my own personal experience that those in a situation like that, I don't know what the answer would be for you in a situation like that, but because I see that it helps with children pay more attention and they are connecting to one another. As a matter of fact, I read a story recently that at schools that they do this, the kids have gone back to the old-fashioned way of passing notes in class. Because the fact is that unfortunately there's too many children that aren't like yours that are abusing that. They're using it to bully other children. They're texting back and forth. There's no communication. So, sometimes I think it's a balancing act about what to do. But more importantly, it's about whether that exists in your schools or not. It's about setting those boundaries for your children, because that is what parenting is setting a boundary. And I believe me, I have family members that have their children on screens basically 24/7.
Yeah.
And it's just not healthy. It just is not healthy.
No, it's definitely not. You got to get outside. You got to meet other kids.
Absolutely.
You got to hang around with kids. You know what I mean? You got to do things. You can't be afraid to go out the door too, because then it's like, okay, we have this, oh my God, it's like love, hate, fear, relationship, all this kind of stuff. It's like, God, go outside. No, don't go outside because someone's going to snatch you. It's like, it's,
it's all, but that's all fear-based. So we have to begin to let the fear go, false evidence appearing real. We're all creating this fear out of our minds. And I read a statistic recently that the children riding bikes outside has gone down significantly because of all of this kind of conversation, besides the screens and the fear. And this is, that's why I said, get out in nature.
Don't believe the puppies on the truck, although I might.
Gina would.
I might
but
go.
Then God forbid anybody tries to snatch Gina up there.
But 63, I'm still going to go to the puppies on the truck.
That's right.
But it's
parenting. Literally, it's just parenting.
I've been trying to parent her, but she's difficult.
Oh well, okay. That is an affirmation.
There you go. When it comes to Gina, I was like,
it's too funny.
What I do love is that we say affirmations to ourselves all the time.
Oh, God, yes.
And really what they are is they're excuses.
Yeah. But there's also times that you sit there and you'll say something and you'll be like you say, I wish, I want, I need. But it's like, I've already got it. Like you say, the billionaire is, you're your inner billionaire. It's not always about money. Like, I know monetarily wise, I'm okay. But with friends and family and the love that I feel that I have around me, bajillionaire, never mind billionaire. Because I know that, I treat the people the way I want to be treated, do as you do unto others, as you do unto yourself, or whatever the case may be.
Absolutely.
Long time since church. I'll treat somebody the way I want to be treated.
Yes.
Whether they're two-legged or four-legged, like that little thing that was there. Because that brings out for me, that brings out the best in other people. Because once people get
Yes.
over like, what do you want? Because I used to be like that. And I was like, oh my God, Darlene, you're so pretty. I'd be like, yeah, what do you want? I couldn't accept compliments. I always thought somebody wanted something from me. But then I grew up, and I turned 50, and I reopened my mind and my heart. And it's like, like we had a guest on the show last week, and he said that he was walking down the street one day and he saw some person with a sign saying, vote for Donald Trump or else. And in my brain, and I said it to Gina after, in my brain it went, and I would have been standing beside him going, free hugs, I don't care who. Mind you, if I did that now, my husband would probably kill me. But
Right.
That's my thing. Is I have, for me, for my own sanity, for my own brain to continue to be as what I want to be, the focus that I want to go, is I find kindness, even in the negative. Like when I first started Facebook and I first started outing myself as the woo-woo that I am. I had somebody post a comment on one of my Facebook pages and goes, that's blasphemy. You said your angel was a girl. I was like, excuse me, angels are a being of light, of energy. There's no masculine or feminine. I just, at the situation that I was talking about, it felt feminine to me. So that's how that worked. And he's like, I guess you're going to delete this comment. I said, no, I'm not. I believe you have a right to your opinion.
Yeah.
I'm not going to engage and get into an argument with you. And anybody who does, I'll ask them politely, please just don't engage, because it doesn't do you any good. Some people have their mind set on certain things. You can't change them, but accept them for the person that they are, even if they are like Gina's, I could say it and she'd kill me. Trump lover. Sorry.
What?
Yeah, I know.
No, that's absolutely true, that everything is working in our favor. And that is why it's so interesting to watch, because people are calling things bad or good when it just is.
I know.
I want this book.
And the only way that things are going to change is people got to open their eyes and people have to work together.
And
but
also
what you do is fix yourself. You don't fix yourself. You can't be there for anybody else. You can't, you know what I mean? It's like,
we say, you can't feed other people if you're not feeding yourself.
Pointing fingers out instead of pointing fingers in.
Yeah.
It's like, what's my part in this? Is there something I did that, could have stopped this? Or is there something that I could do that could help this? But again, I'm going to hold this guy up here again. This book is amazing. Amazing. Look at all my dogs.
In other words, everybody, retail shopping, retail therapy, I should say.
It's, sometimes, I don't, and I read the books for all these shows. And sometimes if I'm not going like 500 times going, right?
Yeah.
It's not that great of a book.
Yeah.
Well,
and
just this way, right
for
here. This way.
For all of your listeners. Yeah.
Right there.
You could go to my website as well and get that book. It's not the book unless you pay for shipping, but you can get the flip book of that, because I know that some people, they don't know, they're broke as I was when I was on food stamps. And the fact is that I don't want that to ever be a barrier, the money to buy the book, because the information in there is so profound. It is a portal to transform your life. So go to the website and get it for free.
See that? You can, and
this is one of the things that makes me
QR code right here.
Crazy. Yeah, go over there. It might be over here.
That's our website.
It's over there somewhere. It's that crazy squiggly thing.
And this is it. It's the DebbieDobbins.com for the audio only. So it's DebbieDobbins.com, because this will be audio only going out tomorrow.
Okay.
I am
in the
Debbie
chat
Dobbins,
room for those that are going to watch it again from either YouTube or Facebook, in the comment section, I'm posting the links to her website. Go there. Because what you're doing, Debbie, in regards to giving this book away is something I think that people who have reached what they consider to be their potential are so not giving back to the community. So many people are still going, oh, me more. You know, it's like I have my views on homelessness and housing and all this stuff, but it's like when somebody asked me once about it, it was like, that's way out there. I said, any more way out there than just having a shite ton of empty buildings sitting along the road, and you've got a park full of homeless people. You do 2 and 2 to make 4. Like, put them in there, fix it up. They can work. It's like, ugh. Okay,
so I can't think of the person that said this, but there is a quote that goes something like this, because I don't have the, I'm not going to say it exactly. But in business, the more you serve and give away, the less you will ever need marketing. Because the fact is that what is so important is for us, and that's why it's so interesting to watch people online sell their wares, right? Is because they'll give you a little, $9 product, and then it's like, okay, here's a 15,000 upsell. And the fact is that serve and give away your gifts, because they will always be returned tenfold. And that's really one of the chapters in the book, as well as giving.
And
you
even,
can give,
even when you were at your lowest, you were learning this. The concept of this, and you're like, they were telling you to give 10% of what you had, and you're like, well, I don't even have enough for a cup of coffee. What am I gonna do? You know what I mean? It's like, and you yourself, as a human, as like one of us girls, you started out little, you know what I mean? Like little bit, but then what happened? It bloomed and it blossomed and it turned into something big. And it's true.
And that's what we grow it. We grow it inside of us.
Yep. No matter it's money or if it's giving of yourself,
love.
It could be giving of your time. It could be giving of your, your wisdom, like you do.
I say we give of our time, talent, and treasures. Right. So we can give time, we can be volunteers. We give of our talent, which is what our internal gifts are, right? Whatever they are, you sing, you do art, you're a speaker, anything. We all have a talent, or our treasures, which is our bounty. And I had one of my very first spiritual abundance teachers, Edwene Gaines. She's passed, but she used to stand up in front of people, and that's about the time I was learning about giving. Honey, if God can't trust you with $10, how do you think he's going to trust you with $1 million? And I'm like, well, you got a point there. Because that's what happens is we need to be able to trust and have faith that whatever we give, we receive back tenfold or more.
Yeah, exactly.
You're amazing.
I'm sorry. This is a perfect show. You are an awesome guest, and I just want to. I'm gonna hug you.
I mean,
virtual hug.
So, all right, I'm gonna do this in the practice section here. Right.
Okay.
What is one simple action someone can take today to start activating their inner billionaire? Because I think that's just like extremely important.
Step 1.
The very first thing, literally, we talked about it, is gratitude. When somebody wakes up in the morning, this is when your day begins. This sets the path, the map for the entire day. So what happens to most people? They pick their phone up, right? They're already on their phone before they even get up and, first do the we, right? So this is the first thing you do not want to do when you wake up in the morning. And there's a concept called create before you consume, right? So we can create in a lot of different ways. We can set our intentions. We can meditate. Literally, before you get out of bed, close your eyes and meditate for even a minute, right? Set your tone, set your intention. And then I set an intention every day of, okay, surprise me. What is my surprise going to be? And then I go out into my day and expect my surprise. So I set those intentions of everything is working in my favor. Surprise me today. I create before I consume. So I may create content before I consume content. I may create an art project. I may do a dance in the living room, put the music on. But we have to begin to get also out of our stale habitual patterns, which is breaking our states, that we then begin to see our day unfolding. I have another meditation that's on my website called the 6-phase meditation, and it sets up your day. You vision you are going to have the most awesome day. Well, who doesn't want to do that? Who doesn't want to have an awesome day?
Yeah.
But we walk out into the world and we just let it happen to us. And then we're
all these people
frankly
that look
pissed
the
off
wall.
because we didn't get the result that we think we should get. So
Right.
then we go down this other path of being angry and being mean to people that we have at work, or we meet on the street, or the Starbucks person wasn't doing, the order fast enough. So we have to set our intention for the day. And when we do that, and then we expect it, and then we look for it, that's when the magic happens. Those are the very first steps. Everybody can start doing that immediately.
I love that. I love that. I have to admit, I do, like, when I get up, I do my grounding and my shielding. I ground and shield when I go to bed to get rid of everything from the day, prepare for sleep, and then in the morning I ground and shield from what happened in the sleep. What I mean? To start.
Well,
and then I do my
I think I'd like for you, honestly, to share a little bit more about what that means, because there are people out there, I can guarantee you, there's people listening that it may be new to you, or maybe never heard you say that. They don't even know what you're talking about. That's really important.
Yeah.
So why don't you I mean, I know that this is, I'm the guest, but
this is
I
about
think it's
Debbie, but
important
Debbie
to share
turned the
those.
tables on us.
Pardon me?
Grounding and shielding. I work with paranormal. So I
know, but I'm just saying, I think it's important because we don't realize the impact that this has on us.
Oh God, yeah.
At all.
Everything, and being empathic and being all this kind of stuff, and intuitive and clear, cognizant, and all this stuff. So all day you're bombarded by all this exterior energy, forces, and whatever. Okay. And the negative people sending stuff to you because you're trying to do something good. Right. So all this stuff that attacks you during the day. When I go to bed at night, I make my energy like this, okay? And you can create an energy ball. You can do this. You can just rub your hands really quickly and you create this energy ball. Like this, like I feel it way out here. You know what I mean? So
I know.
Crunch it down here, and then I will infuse it into me, and I will strip all the negative energy and I will throw it away. All right. And then you never leave yourself empty. So then I make another energy ball and I ask to have a golden light or whatever it is that happened, because there's differences between golden light, blue light, green light. All the different lights mean different things. But at night I'll just say, give me the golden light, and promote healing for my body, promote, just a nice, so I can get a good sound sleep, all this, and infuse myself with positive energy. And then at night, because again, I work with paranormal, a lot of times during the day, if I'm not listening to them during the day, they're all going to try to get in contact with me at night. And because then
sleeping, I'll call now.
Your mind is shut off. So, like they're like, hey, and they do this to normal people. That's when they get like, oh, I have sleep paralysis. Oh, they're attacking me. They're this or that. It's like, no, because you're not paying attention to them during the day. They will at night. Right. So when I get up in the morning, I, if it's something very important, I will remember it, because dreams you don't remember, but occurrences you do. So when you remember something, it's something important. So then I will deal with what I need to deal with, and I will ground and shield again, do the same exact thing to get me ready for the day, and you have a great practice bubble around you. So it's a meditative state. It's something I do. I don't even think about it, anymore, because I just do it.
Yeah. And I think that's just it's so important for people to recognize that everything is energy. Everything. And so if we begin to look at as our life, because we've bought into some crazy story that we're just these 5 senses. Like, okay. No, there's multi dimensions, at least quantum physics has shown that. But we are multidimensional all the time. And so if we really get a grasp of that, then we see life differently, and that everything is impacting our energy, from these screens to, like you said, people's energy around us. I call it race consciousness. There's so much energy from the thoughts and the feelings that are out around us on the planet that we have to protect ourselves, but not in a fearful way. Like
Right.
I just call it my
Nope.
space bubble. I'm
Yeah,
putting my space bubble on.
yeah, it's a prep. It's a prep for the day. And again, you
Yeah.
can't help someone else if you don't help yourself. And that is how I help me
100%.
so that I can help other people, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and
No, that's a
do
beautiful
my
thing.
best in that aspect. But yeah, you're 100% right. And there are people that are suffering. There are a lot of empaths out there that are afraid to walk out their door because they're
Yeah.
bombarded by all this.
Right.
And it debilitates them. And it doesn't
Mhm.
have to,
Yeah, it
because
doesn't.
you
You can shield yourself. That's right.
yeah, 100% you can.
Yeah. Well, I think that's beautiful. I'm glad you shared that with everybody because
Mm.
it's so important for us to really take. My podcast is called Radical Responsibility Revolution. We are
Beautiful.
not taking as a species our responsibilities for our experience. We
Mhm.
are in charge of our experience 100%. We can feel how we want, we can think how we want, and we are reacting to these experiences as if somehow or another we are victims. We are not. We
Yeah.
are powerful beyond measure, but if we don't acknowledge that and take that responsibility, then we will be victims.
You're right. You're right. And then the victim mentality, I
Oh,
mean,
Lord.
it's like once that thumb comes down,
Yep.
and whoever's holding that thumb down, once they have that power, of course, they're going to pound it in
That's
even
right.
more. So don't
Yeah.
let that victim mentality get you in that position,
Mhm.
and seriously, I do this again, right? Because it's like a lot of stuff to deter this, to help you through your days, through all your issues, get you to that confident, beautiful person that you are.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Um, Chris Boggs, he's the dad of the little parakeet, because I'm the parafox and this little parakeet. We have an event that I want Parakeet to come to at the Hoover House in March. Okay, Dad?
Yeah.
March 28th. We got to come up with a name for the event. At the Hoover. My mass hole's coming out. The Hoover. That's where I'm from, Massachusetts. I live in Pennsylvania now, but I'm from Massachusetts originally.
Park your car.
I park my car out in the back, behind the yard.
It's in the yard.
So for my podcast, I try to have R's in my language, but I'll get excited and they go right out the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But okay, good. I'm glad. Yeah, because Pam called me the other day and we have to set that up. I had to say that, sorry. It's
While
gonna
she
be
has the hostage.
a nice event. Yep. Yep. But getting back to Inner Billionaire, let's see. We did talk about. Can you guys go over again reticular vision, because we have different people that are in here now, and I want that a
Oh my
little
gosh, yes.
more
So I
prevalent.
love reticular vision. I love it so much because it is how we see what we call reality.
Mm-hmm.
So reticular vision is simply our sorting and filtering mechanism. Now, I want to use an example called Facebook because it's the easiest way to understand an algorithm. So if you ever saw the movie about Mark Zuckerberg, of how the Facebook began, it was just basically, well, he was actually rating women in his college, but it began as friends, right? You would reach out to your friends. So how many friends do most of us have? Oh, I don't know. Maybe we have 15, maybe we have 20, maybe we have 100. But we would have our friends on our Facebook. And there wasn't a lot to sort and filter. So he didn't have to, meaning Zuckerberg. And when he created Facebook, you would see in your feed your friends' posts, right?
Yep.
Well, then you got too many friends. Like literally, there's
Yep.
people now that have hundreds and thousands and they give them professional pages. But the fact of the matter is, they had to figure out a way, because if you had 150 friends or 3,000 friends and all of their posts were in your feed all the time, first of all, it would be like the freeway in California. Second of all, I mean, seriously,
Oh my
you
God.
stack them up, you go like so
True.
slow.
That's true.
And you couldn't consume that much. You just can't. Your mind can't absorb all of that. So what they came up with this thing called an algorithm. Well, basically our reticular vision is our algorithm, but who programs it? Us.
Mhm.
We say what we want to see. And it's only by virtue of the fact that we have so much data. We've always had a lot of data coming into our brains, but imagine horse and buggy days, we didn't have as much God, not even close to what we have now, right?
Yeah.
So we have so much information coming at us. And what we do is this is our AI. This is what we programmed with all of our feelings and beliefs over a period of time. Because what happens is you have an experience, then you have a reaction to it, then you create a belief around it. So I'm going to use something really simple. You're a little kid, and I'm going to use the money examples. And every month, your parents don't have enough money. They're living hand to mouth. But all you know, as a little kid around 7 years old, every month, this man in a uniform comes to your door and he turns off the electricity. Right. And so what happens as a result of that? Chaos with your parents. They're fighting and arguing with you. Your siblings are like under the covers because they don't want to deal with it. So you formulate this version of what money is, a lack thereof, and how you respond to it and how your family responds to it. This is the foundation of our money stories. So what happens is now we've downloaded that emotion and we go out into the world and we put it on replay. We repeat it one after another. Now, the circumstances may change, but now our beliefs around it are the same. And we keep seeking out, because that's what our reticular vision does. We keep seeking out examples of it, right? Because it's feeding us what we believe and what we have downloaded as our emotional bodies to create that belief. So we keep seeing it because we have programmed ourselves to do that. And so when you say, yep, I was right. I don't have enough, right? I don't have enough money. There's not enough at the end of the month, right? All of those conversations. But what we do is we try to prove it through the evidence because that's what our reticular vision is designed to do. So you have to pattern interrupt and say, what do I want to see instead? What do I want to feel instead? And that's where that expectation goes. So I use the example of putting an order in a restaurant. Everybody's been to a restaurant of some kind. I like to use the version of I'm going to an absolute stunning 5-star Michelin restaurant, right? And I am sitting there with some friends and we are enjoying life. And I've got wine in front of me and they have this beautiful menu. And I look at this menu and the chef says, do you want the chef special? I said, I don't know. What is it? So they tell me what it is. And I said, yes, that's what I want. So they take the order. The server takes the order. They walk back to the kitchen. And we sit at the table, enjoying our life, having a beautiful dinner, expecting that what I just ordered is coming to me. I don't go running back into the kitchen and say to the chef, oh my God, do you know how to make that chef special? I'm not really sure you know what's going on here. And this is what I call micromanaging the universe. When we put in an order for our desires, right, we have to expect, number one, that it's coming, but number two, when it comes, you be grateful for it, but we don't sit there and dig up the seed that we just planted or the order that we just put in. We look for evidence of that. That's what our reticular vision is about. So once I go out and I'm looking for evidence, what it could be small evidence, but it's just looking for it. The reticular vision says, oh, we have a different algorithm. Let's go that way. But that's simply what it is. And it is amazing when we do that, we begin to see it. It's not miraculous. It's just how the world works, how the universe works. But yeah,
I think that
love
is
reticular vision.
so beautiful and such a great concept. You know, it truly, truly is. And then you got to think back when when I was younger, right? We were poor, you know, and my dad would say, well, we don't have enough of this. And we had, you know, like the powdered milk and the this and the that and the block cheese from the, you know, all this kind of whatevers, you know, and he would always like kind of compensate, right, for his downfalls of not making enough money, my dad, you know what I mean? And be like, well, money's the root of all evil and money's the, you know what I mean? And then you get all this downloaded into you from a child, you know, and it's like, okay, so then I'm like, well, I don't believe that, you know, 9 years old, I'm going to go get a paper route. By 12 years old, I was making more working in a weekend than my mother did working all week, you know, working at a fruit stand. Right? It's just like I'm a worker. I've always had my own business. I'm a tool belt diva. I do construction. I did construction. I did men's work. I was always solid as a rock. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't take anything from anybody. But it was, it was like, but I was a designer too. So I would have my feminine side. I would put on nice outfits and go and do my presentations and do my selling and show you the curtains and this and that. But then I'm coming back in my work clothes and I'm doing the work, but that is how I made my money. But it was work, and
that was another story.
Right. And you don't have time to think. If I had this in that day,
maybe
then I wouldn't be the decrepit person that I am today.
Oh, no,
myself up.
I don't take that affirmation. I think it's beautiful though, because that's just a vignette of what everybody has a money story or a story of life, right? About what we are supposed to do in our lives. And the beauty of it is they're just stories that we tell each other. As I said, it isn't good or bad. It just is. And our version there creates that. And so if we can write these stories and understand that we're writing the story, we can write another story.
Yep.
Because that's all those stories are, is just stories. They're fiction that we've made up. And so if we've made it up, because we're the writer, the producer, the director, and the screen.
Yep. And I got like really shunned from my family a lot because I was like, I'm a go-getter. I was out doing stuff, and they're like, well, why are you doing this? And why are you doing that? And it's like, because I can. Right? And I'm going to.
Yeah, I often say that people will either be imprinted by their caregivers, their parents, whatever, or they will rebel against them, right? And so when you took your position, you didn't buy into the story of the monies that your parents were giving you, but there's so many people out there that would have taken your same circumstances, your same story, and turned it into, woe is me, I'm, not enough and all of that. So it's just really, everybody gets to choose a different story. That's what the beauty of it is. I love it because we get to choose our stories. And when we're done with that story, it's just like a movie. How many movies have we ever seen in our lives? We might like a rom-com. We might like an action movie, right? But we go to these stories, and that's why I love Joseph Campbell, because he talks about the hero's journey. We're all on the hero's journey. And our lives are just these beautiful, magical stories that we're telling ourselves. And if we want to get out of that, evil forest that some of us get ourselves in, we just have to write a new story for ourselves. It's really that simple. Yet it is one of those things that I find very challenging.
I really believe nothing happens to us that's not supposed to.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, I went through addiction. I was, alcoholic, addicted to Coke, had to go to jail because of Coke, all kinds of things. I lost everything. I gained everything. I lost everything. I was up, I was down. I was like, that's life, right? But you learn all these things. I've never denied anything that I've gone through. I never will, because that's what makes me, and that was a big lesson that I had to learn. And however, from learning those things, from meeting the people that when I was in those situations, I've learned a lot. But I learned those 12 steps, and those 12 steps are freaking amazing, and they're life-changing. But I like this comment here too. It's absolutely genius. We often get caught up in a routine and just keep thinking we need more and more. And he needed this tonight. That was Christopher. And yes, I mean, I'm telling you, this woman, God, we're like sisters. I swear to God, you fit in with us perfectly here, But this up here, this way, this is her QR code. You can hit that; it goes right to her website. But you must go to her website. There are things there that are free. There are things there. I mean, she has an audio course there as well. But I'm going to put up these are her. You can find her on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn.
I'm on social media all over the place.
The social media stuff. Her YouTube channel, The Real Debbie Dobbins. Okay, go there, check her out. Check out her podcast. I mean, your podcast. you know? Yeah. I'm not going to say because I'm going to feed her swear jar enough. But this is the website itself. It's DebbieDobbins.com. Please, 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 I implore you. All right. If you've just loved her as much as I have talking to her, you're gonna benefit from going to her site and following her and watching what she's doing, because getting this is a life changer. It's a game changer.
It is.
It really,
It's
truly
a portal. It really is.
Loved it.
Thank you.
All right. What do we got for our time? What?
We
Huh?
have a half an hour.
Are we
We have a half
complete?
hour.
I felt like that was a completion mark.
No, I'm just, I have to, I'm going to keep doing this. But I want to make sure that when people come in and go out and come in and go out, I want to make sure that they're seeing the links. I want to make sure that they're
Absolutely.
understanding what it is that we're talking about. God.
Well,
I want to bring up
the
the medical part of your journey here too, because when you were down and out and you found yourself with this diagnosis of cancer, I mean, talk about, again, people get these things that happen to them, and again, it can debilitate them and it can bring them down into the wallows and, oh, woe is me. Now you get this thing for cancer, of course, yeah, you're going to be down. And then you're going to be panicking because this was the time that you were broke. Like, how am I going to pay for a cancer treatment and such? But yet it all worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, I don't regret the past, but I learned from it. And the diagnosis, I mean, I could talk about the structure of the cancer and all of those things. And I remember the day that I got the diagnosis, because I had been misdiagnosed many times by younger gastrointestinal doctors. And I went to this guy that I wanted to go to a more seasoned doctor. He was about 2 weeks from retirement. And so I went into his office and he has me lay down. And this is one thing that no other doctor had done. They had all these weird conversations, but he had me lay down on the table and literally stuck his finger up my bum. And he had no bedside manner because he comes this close to my face and says, "Yep, it's rectal cancer." I went, "Okay, did you want to like soften that blow a little bit?"
Right. That was ridiculous.
Oh no, I mean, I think because it's part of the story. I just think this is so wonderful, is that life just gives you these stories and then you can say, this is how it went. So he does that. He took blood because I didn't realize at the time I was so depleted and anemic. But he does that and he says, "Okay, now you need to, go figure this out." Because he was 2 weeks from retirement. It's like, "I gave you your diagnosis." I'm like, "Okay, is there more that should happen here?" Anyways, I get in the car and everybody, I'm sure, that has ever had the C word diagnosis, because we've also been imprinted with that is basically a death sentence of some kind, right? It's scary because they've made it scary. So I get in the car and I'm driving home, which is only a few miles away from where I am. And I'm having this conversation with myself, who's the universe. And I said, "You told me that I'm going to live to be 103. Now, how is this going to work out? Like, you don't know what's happening with is this a death sentence?" Anyways, so I thought I didn't hear an answer right away. I just felt like, what should I do with this information? So I drive home, and I think it was probably not more than an hour later, the doctor's office is calling me and he's telling me, I mean, I've already had the cancer diagnosis. Now I don't know what to do. I don't have medical insurance. That was the bigger problem. And so I said, the doctor's calling. Okay, so I answer the phone and he says, "Now, I just want you to know that I got your blood work back and you need to get an immediate blood transfusion because your whatever version of my blood is, it's so off, low, whatever it was." I mean, I don't remember all of the details. I just know that he said, "You're going to die. That'll kill you before the cancer kills you."
Lord love it.
I thought, okay, and this is how I have to make things funny. I'm going, where do I get one of those? Does Walmart have those?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah.
They don't.
Can I just, order it up?
That's right. It's like, how does that come? Do you buy two at a time? Do you get a discount if you get a
Get a
single? I don't
deal if
know.
you get more than one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Six
So
pack.
it was at that moment that I picked up the phone. I called my mom. She was living in Texas. I was in California at the time. And I said, you won't believe what happened. And blah, 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 and I'm distressed at this point. I don't even know what is going on with my life. I don't know where to go to get treatment because he didn't give me any guidance. Like that was what was so bizarre. So, anyways, my mom says, I said, Mom, and I don't have insurance. Where am I going to go? She says, honey, you live in California. And I'm like, yes. She goes, you just walk into a hospital. She goes, they won't ask you for insurance if you're sick. And I went, okay. So that really was the case. I walked in there. I didn't have insurance. They could tell I couldn't walk from the front desk to the room that they wanted me to go in. They had to put me in a wheelchair. And I didn't realize how sick I was, even though I was passing out probably on a regular basis. And so I go in there, and I just think it's funny. I think it's funny because it was a traumatic experience, but I went in there expecting to get this blood transfusion. So I didn't have my phone charger. I didn't think I was going to stay. I just went in to get a blood transfusion. Hook me up.
Hook me up and leave, right? You're going to be all better. As soon as the blood's in you, you're good. Good to go.
So they set me up because I'm in the emergency room. They hooked me up with this blood transfusion, and I told him what had happened with the doctor. And he comes back, I don't know, however many hours it was, because it took a while to get 2 pints of blood transfusion. And he says, okay, you're going upstairs now. I said, what do you mean I'm going upstairs? He goes, we're checking you into the hospital, because you're in bad shape. I don't have my cell phone charger.
Nobody in the world has that cell phone charger. Yeah, okay.
Well, because I had an Android, people were on Apple. But so that was the beginning of that process. And once I got upstairs, I was just thinking, okay, this is going to be okay. Like I just knew my intuitive downloads started coming back because it was just a shock to my system. And I said, okay, so what is our next indicated step? What is my intuition telling me? And then angels just started showing up. Literally, angels started showing up. This woman came in and said, are you poor enough to get, I don't know, whatever they called it, Medicaid or something? And I said, I don't know, probably. So I had my whole medical treatment, although I don't agree with all the treatment. That's another story. Completely covered from tip to stern by the state of California, which is the only thing that the state of California has ever done for me. But it was beautiful. It was incredible. I got some of the best care ever. But I also started to bring back my beingness to the holistic. So I was doing meditation, and I was doing yoga, and I was doing acupuncture, and I was doing psychic healing. So it was a blend of the traditional plus some of the more woo-woo, if you will. But it was a ride. And it was just, I knew that I was healing myself through all of the real non-traditional methods. And frankly, in hindsight, I think that theirs were very invasive. And I just refused to take chemo because that was not on my bucket list.
Destroys everything. That's their answer. Destroy it all, and even good things, Yeah. I mean, I like the woo-woo stuff too, and we need that. Healing,
Interestingly enough, I say this all the time now, that sound healing is our next advancement in healing, because I did go to a psychic healer, which she just magically appeared one day at a spiritual center. She was from Ireland. She was only there for a week, but I went to her, and she was all about sound vibration and the tuning forks. And she gave me some healing sound frequencies that I used that really were amazing. But I was sitting in her space, and she starts describing what I perceived, because the way she described it was my dad that was standing behind me. She, one of those, talk to dead people. And I thought, you know what? You're describing my dad. Now, I've often thought I would love to have an encounter with somebody that, had those talents, because I believe that everyone does. We need to hone them. But of all the people that would show up, that was not going to be the person I would have said, because we had a strained relationship. And so she's having this conversation with him and with me, and she says, you know, and this was the first time that I understood that we all come in here for a particular reason, and people come with us to give us all of the experiences that we need. So she said she told me that he said that moment, I did all of these things, you know, that you look as terrible experiences in your life, because they were really, some of them were horrible, because nobody else could have loved you that much to have to play that part. And I thought, wow, that's pretty amazing. And since then, I've, there's a woman, I can't think of her name, but she, you know, meditation and all that, but she talks about this thing that's called the bus stop conversation. And I love this metaphor for people, because when we run into people that push our buttons or trigger us, they're there for our service, so that we all start out at the bus stop before we come to planet Earth. So we're out at the bus stop and we're sitting around and we all say, oh, okay, so what are you going down there for? And I'll raise my hand and say, you know, I want to go and I want to experience forgiveness. Okay, who here on the bus stop wants to go with me to help me with my mission? And people will raise their hands. Now, we don't know what part they're going to play particularly. We just know that they're going to come and they're going to share experiences with us. And they may be experiences that are actually triggering and pushing us, because I believe that we get the most growth out of triggers. So we all come here and we get to play these parts for each other. And if we begin to look at each other as we're doing that, and all the people that we can't stand at work, or the ones that are in front of us on the freeway that are driving us crazy, or the customer service person who's in another country that doesn't understand what I'm saying, they're all here. The relationships in our lives are what one spiritual teacher I had said are grist for the spiritual mill. They are here to refine us. They are here for us to learn from. They are here to be our mirrors. So what do we need healed? And so I just really know that every single person that ever comes into my life is there to experience this thing that I said I wanted to have, and my mission on this planet, which I don't know that you need to define what that mission or purpose is. It's just to live through it. And by the time you get to the end, I'm pretty sure we're going to know what it is.
Yeah.
This is why I'm in the paranormal.
Yeah.
Because I get all those answers for people, you know, and I feel like, you know, like my job is being like a counselor, you know, there's something going on in a house and there's disturbance or whatever. You go in and you talk to the person, and then you go in and you talk to the spirit, and then you got to make a compromise, you know, let them, is it going to work out? Can you live together? Or one or the other has to go, you know?
Well, and it's been my experience. I may not, you know, maybe other people have other experiences, but those that have crossed over this, you know, threshold, this dimension, this veil, that they are all in that love, that oneness consciousness space. That they're here to share with us that, yes, you know, we're here holding
mostly.
Yeah, I said mostly.
Yeah. Because I mean, there's this is the thing, real quick, right? It's like there are spirits and there are ghosts. You know, a ghost is someone that's died, has not crossed over. Like they might be hit by a car. They don't understand that they're dead. They're still holding on to the human emotions.
The human thing, that's right. But the ones that are in the dimension,
the ones that have crossed over, the spirits. Oh yeah, they're always they're helpful.
Pure love.
They can be spirit guides. They're there before, you know, they go to that step, and then they go to another step, and then another step. You know, it's like, and we'll all be there too. You know. And go through the phases, all those multi dimensions, and you know, who knows where you're going to end up from there. You know, it's what is your experience? You know, do we
the
have
universe is so vast, right? I mean, if you look up the stars, you just go, wow. I went to the planetarium when I was in Nashville recently, and I don't know, it's been probably since I was a kid I wasn't at a planetarium. just looking, and they had a display of our solar system, our little itty bitty tiny solar
Right.
system.
Yeah.
Here's Earth. Here's Earth, this little tiny thing. I mean, here's Saturn. So like gigantic. We aren't even the biggest kid on the block.
Nope.
Just,
No, it's just that position near the sun. That's the only thing that makes us different.
still, I mean, so many people, we all are the center of our own universes. Like that is the truth.
Yes.
But yet to think that we're so important in the bigger scheme of the universe, which is infinite, which is, most people can't even get their minds wrapped around that concept that it's infinity and beyond. So it's just, who was it? Juan Miguel Ruiz, the 4 agreements. One of the 4 agreements is don't take things personally.
Yes.
That one agreement.
Yeah.
Stop taking things personally.
Yep.
The
It's a
world
good
would
one.
be up leveled. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, just you watch Ancient Aliens, you know, or any of those shows or whatever channel that's on, you
I
know,
don't know.
and it's insane the things that they come up with, you know. Could it be and this and there must be that, and it's like, how are you, what, you know, and they're saying it like it's a fact, and it's like, you don't know this, you don't know this, you know.
And I watched about 5 minutes of that and I thought, they're acting as if the future of, I don't know, 50, 20 years from now is like today. I went, you guys don't even have a concept of what's going to transpire. We have no ability, just like somebody that was in the 1800s driving horses and buggies could not imagine an international plane flight. Like that's not in their imagination, right? We don't have the imagination because we're very finite, limited beings in our brains, unless we sit and really just daydream. But we don't have the imagination to know what's about to happen. And literally with AI, this world is going to be so different in 5 years that we won't even recognize it. I'm excited about that. And at the same time, there's a lot of resistance to that change. There's just resistance to change, period. People generally
right.
speaking
No,
don't like it.
what if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know, all those things that we grew up with, right? All those things come into play. And it's all that, again, here's that thumb.
That's right.
It comes down.
Imprinting.
Right.
I
And
was
that's
talking
gonna
to
stunt
somebody.
our growth.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody today, though. One of the things that I like to encourage people to do is when when you get into a meditative state, or just slow yourself down enough and watch your thoughts, literally from your mind's eye, watch your thoughts, and then say, whose thought is that? Not just from the perspective that our higher self has different thoughts, but I would say most people, and 99% of our thoughts are living rent-free in our head that are someone else's thoughts because we've been imprinted by them. So then we got their thoughts, we carry them around, they're living rent-free up here, and then we just live our lives as if they're ours. And the truth is when we begin to detach from that, then we get to see what our real thoughts are, our real authentic thoughts.
Right. And don't be afraid to do that. Just don't be, you know, don't be afraid to be the black sheep. Don't be afraid to be the one that's going to break out of the mold, you know. Hey, I'm a black sheep. I love it.
Well, but it's, oh my gosh, I can't think of what it's called. Simon Sinek does a TED talk on it, but he talks about he's talking about leaders, but it's the arc of how change comes. And so 12% of, well, actually it's about 2.5% are the innovators, right? That come up with these ideas that create where we are today. Then 12.5% are the early adopters. So that means all these other people, that's like 15%. All the other 85% are people that are resisting. They don't want to go along. They don't want to get into the newness. And so when you say black sheep, I say early adopter. I say innovator. I say creative. I say forward thinker, because that is what keeps us propelling through this, ball that's running around, spinning around in this universe. That's what is allowing us to grow and evolve. And it's not because of the people that are laggards. They're not the ones that are holding on to the old paradigms. So I'm going to reframe that for you. You're not a black sheep. You're an innovator and an early adopter.
All right, I'll take it. I like it.
You don't have much
But I've
choice.
always been there, and
Yeah.
create. Yes, I'm not afraid to create anything.
Yeah.
Where do you see my creations that are in my yard? I'm like, I wanted to do pirates, so what do? I go build a ship. This year I built a dock to go out there too. I mean, I have these things, I'm building these things out of wood. You know what I mean? They're solid things, and I have
innovation. That's creativity. That's beautiful. I mean, that is just to me, that's just magic. That's what real magic is.
The neighborhood enjoys it, brought life back to this neighborhood,
Mhm.
And the old man next door came over to me and said, that's just that thing today. He said,
Yeah.
this is what I remember as Halloween as a kid, and people getting excited and doing, stuff like this. He goes, you go overboard here. This is a lot. He goes, I'm afraid to go to sleep at night.
Acting as a kid is highly underrated, because I love to go whenever I go anywhere. I'm traveling, I said I'm in Minnesota, but the first thing that I do when I get into any location is Google where's the nearest lake, because lakes always have some magic to them anyways. And then generally when I'm at a lake, there's a park, and I just love going on a swing or a merry-go-round or a jungle gym. I mean, and not like I'm going to be, jungle gymming across, because my arms will pull out of my socket, but it's so fun to let that inner child come out, because we don't do that. We think being grown up means something. I'm like, no, it doesn't. You're just a kid in this bigger body, and you forgot how to be a kid. And if we begin to remember how to be a kid, it's just fabulous. So having Halloween and doing all of that creativity and watching the joy. Oh my God, the kids are going to love that. They're just going to go.
They do love it. And we dress, we're in costume every year. Every year it's a different theme. Bob jumps out and scares the adults, not the kids. And it's hilarious. And they never know what he's going to be.
Spontaneity.
It's
surprise.
Fun. It's fun. It's fun. Tomorrow I got to do my playground. That's my last section of the alien. I put an Area 51 playground. So
pirate.
Pirate alien. It's not just one thing. It's a whole bunch of stuff. She has as much fun as she complains about how it makes her feel her body. She has as much fun creating this and thinking how she doesn't compete against the neighbors. She competes against her own self.
Yeah, well, that's
which is fun to watch, because she's like an amazing wizard when it comes to decorations and stuff. I'd be like, can I be your neighbor? I won't do anything, but you can decorate my property too. She'd have fun.
There's one girl that goes really, like, even more than I do. And she live, I think, Indiana or something like that, Michelle. And I'm like, Denier, her yard is insane. And she goes, every time we go back and forth, it's like, oh, I love your yard. They're like, I love your yard. It was back and forth. I'm like, if we were neighbors, oh my God, the whole street would be done. But she builds really big things. Like, I mean, I build things, but not like to her capacity, like she has
those people on the Great Christmas Light show, that one that they show on TV.
I'm a step.
I know, but that's right. People can get
really, really nuts, But I mean, it is fun. It is fun. But I put up the quiet section first with no sound. Then the noisy section is up and running. And then the last one is coming. Although we're gonna have rain this weekend. Tomorrow I'll have a big chunk of it done. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. All right, we have 5 minutes left. Oh my God. I gotta just say again, people, please go to this QR code right here. All right, thedebbiedobbins.com. Get this book. Please, for the love of God, get this book. You're gonna love it. She's just like this. She talks just like this in the book. She is who she is, and she's got a lot of wisdom that is in here that is going to help you, benefit you, your family, everything, your money, your relationships, your everything, every aspect of your life Okay, you can incorporate into this. It's
I
wonderful.
just I want to share with you that I just published a new book called Rooted in Wealth. And so I'd love to come back and share that one with you because it's basically I'm going to have a trilogy. So it's Your Inner Billionaire, Rooted in Wealth, and Time Bender. Because the Inner Billionaire will give you the frequency, will teach you about your frequency so that you up level your frequency. Rooted in Wealth is about investing. So there are some strategic ways to invest, but more importantly, we don't understand that we need to invest in ourselves so much. And there's all kinds of different ways to do that. And then the time bender. So once you have your frequency and you have your passive income, which is always going to be wonderful through investing, then you're bending time. Because literally, and you understand this because you understand the concept of dimensions, time and space are a construct of our human minds. So I teach particularly women how to bend time so that we have more, because everybody says the reason they want money
I
is
can't
freedom.
do this. I don't have time to go there. I don't have time to do this. Right?
But that's another lack conversation, right? I don't have enough money. I don't have enough time. So when we begin to know that there's more than enough money and more than enough time, then the freedom just automatically comes. So that's what's on the next agenda for me is to talk about my rooted in wealth.
Fabulous. And you know, it's even more fabulous. I get to have you back twice. I can't wait. So is this other book, is it published yet? Or is it?
Yeah, it's on Amazon. It's on Amazon. I just haven't started marketing it yet. So yeah, I actually just got published, I don't know, two or 3 weeks ago. Yeah.
Oh my God. And you just bring this up now. Congratulations.
I was going to hope to get another invite.
You will.
Yes, 100%. Hey, you can live.
Exactly. Because this is one of the things.
Now.
Exactly. One of the things when you come on the show is you're kind of sort of stuck with us.
Yeah.
Kind of sort of stuck with you. Okay. So I'm in your tribe.
Exactly.
I'm in your tribe. Perfect.
100%.
And anything that we can do to help to advertise, we can do it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. That's awesome.
That is wonderful. All right. Let me just do all the things here real quick. All right. So again, thedebbiedobbins.com. Okay. Here's all her media.
Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube.
Beyond Wealth.
Just be careful when you Google search Debbie Dobbins. Make sure you put
just search Debbie Dobbins.
But just don't take the first one because she's so dead. Because I did. Yeah. I was like, wait a minute, she's not on our show tonight, this lady.
Yes.
There's a book up close and personal. And again, it's still her QR code up in the corner there. And there's her website again. It is on Amazon and it is on her website. And again, and for the people that can't afford it, she does have a free copy. You can get the flip book on her website online. And I just encourage you to do that. I really, really do. You're amazing. You are amazing. I loved every second of having you on the show. I can't wait to have you back again. So we're going to have to, I think I'm booking now in January.
Okay, well, I'll email you. You.
Okay. Yeah. Fabulous. Well, hang with us for a minute. I'm going to play our outro video, but I want to talk with you after that. And everybody, please share the show. Go to our site and buonanotte.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of the Fox Time with Gina B and Mama D. We are here every Thursday evening from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you a variety of guests or our own intuitive oracle card reading shows. We are streaming live on Facebook on my personal page and our YouTube channel, The Fox Time with Gina B and Mama D, on Mama D's YouTube channel, Angel Meadows, as well as our audio-only venues. We hope you enjoyed our show and our guest or your reading, and we would love it if you would go to our YouTube channel, The Fox Den with Gina B and Mama D, subscribe, share, and definitely hit that notification button to never miss a show. We'll see you all next week, and subscribers, watch for our pop-up shows as well.